So welcome again to the day one for the Cyber Security NIST 853 workshop. The intent of the first day is to give us an overview of some of the cyber threats out there and also to eventually evolve into our use case. The use case is straightforward. We have a new Chief Information Security Officer that started, and our first mandate was to report to the board of directors what are those top areas of threat within their cybersecurity space. Within their industry, this is a healthcare in this scenario. For those of us that are in the healthcare space, this is fantastic, really, because you get to learn a lot of things specifically around that space. The regulation around it, the technology involved, some of the electronic medical record involved, the ramification of having a breach, what are the implications in terms of those. All right. So we talk about the overview today. We talk about the assessment itself. We get into the meat of it. Then tomorrow will be like the big bang. We would actually finally produce a report, because this is the report your CISO will take to leadership. For those of you that just joined, I mentioned earlier, one of our mentors that was in this program also, he used this interview scenario and was able to land 2 offers. Now, I'm not saying immediately you get an offer, right? That's nonsense. But most times, when you articulate what real life scenarios you've worked on, and it's something people can identify with, then they generally want you to be part of that story, because this is the reality of leadership, really. Leadership are daily looking at areas that their organization is susceptible to risk, and it's a big deal for them. They don't sleep over that, because for them, a phone call can change everything. And for CISOs, many times the life cycle time of a CISO typically is 18 months. So if you're a CISO and you spend more than 18 months, you feel you've achieved something, because most of them get fired after 18 months, 2 years, because of course they sign contract, right? So they can give them 1 year payoff, right, in their contract. Because most times, if there's a breach, guess who the scapegoat will be? The CISO has to go. If I'm the board and there's a breach in my organization, that's the ransomware that they demanded $10 million and we had to pay. I mean, I'm not going to leave the CISO, right? So every CISO knows, all right, it's time to go. If you are breached, so it's a big deal. So take it very serious. These are real things, real life situations that people typically face. Okay. All right, let's go to the next one. Interesting incidents and why GRC governance. Earlier on, we talked about the ransomware with another company called Colonial Pipeline. Colonial Pipeline is one of the distribution companies in the US for gas, right? Now, think about it. When they were breached, can you just imagine the impact on supply chain in the US? The implication was that suddenly there was long line in the US at the filling station. For those of us that are not familiar with that, some of us are from, came from part of the world that's not really a big deal, right? But for folks that are new to things like that, it was dreadful. It was like, a crisis, but it happened. You had long lines in North America, US and Canada because of that incident. The second one was the one we talked about. There was a data breach, right, for Target store. Even though it's not directly Target, it was actually one of their vendors that was providing HVAC service to Target in this particular case. And they had access to Target network, and there was a malware installed through that access to Target. So yes, Target was breached through a third party, but Target is still liable. So that was a good example there. And I think we've talked about that earlier on. All right, let's talk about this real quick. This is very important. I would like all of us to think about it. Let's spend a second to think about this together, okay? Vulnerability, risk, and threat. Vulnerability, risk, and threat. Vulnerability is simply a weakness that can be exploited. Now, make sure you take note of this. I'm giving you some hints in my next quiz, fun quiz. This is going to be one of the ones I'm going to throw out there for you all. A weakness that can be exploited is vulnerability. A risk, possibility of something bad happening, right? I just kept a simple definition, right? What is the threat? An entry or actor that may exploit a vulnerability, right? So anything that can exploit an existing vulnerability, that's a threat, right? So that's why it's important to say, for example, if you have weak password used, naturally, that is a vulnerability. And, that's a big threat. So it can be exploited big time, right? Because all it will take is for malicious actors to find a way to crack the code. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? There are many softwares out there in the open dark web that they will sell for maybe less than $20. And it's as dangerous as any software you can think of. And that's why it's so hard to stop cyber attack, because malicious actors right now are doing those programs and they are giving it free. Think about it. I just told you that before they toned down ChatGPT, which is another AI tool out there, it could write list of known vulnerabilities in the banking sectors and ways to exploit the vulnerabilities. Think about it. This is a code. Ladies and gentlemen, it's crazy because you're going to sit down in your house and you just on your phone, you type on ChatGPT. Those of us that are familiar with ChatGPT, we had a conference on that some time back. And the same ChatGPT would exploit the vulnerability. That's crazy stuff, ladies and gentlemen. It's crazy. But that's the reality of where we are right now. So just take note of this. These are some very common words in the cyberspace. Another common word that is big for us, I like this, is for those of us that have taken my free cyber class, if you've not, please take it. It's free, so you can learn, have knowledge. And sometimes you realize it's maybe not your space. You don't want to be there. At the minimum, you learn and get information, get knowledge that you can use for your home, for your personal life. If cyber is not for you, no big deal. Just learn. Just be a learner. Because every one of this, I can guarantee you. Let me tell you one funny thing. Right now, actually, there's a law that says it's not passed, but it's proposed there should be somebody with cyber knowledge on board. Now, when I do assessment, some of my folks on this call, they've done assessment too. One of the questions you ask is, for the CISO, is the board knowledgeable about cyber threats? All the ones I've spoken with, the CISOs I've been with, they will tell me, well, yes. Because think about it, how would you be on the board and not be aware of cyber threat? Because outside of your core business operation, I can guarantee you, the next threat and the next focus will be cyber threat. If not, what are you doing there? I don't know. It's crazy. Even people that sell food or sell anything you sell, except, I can't even think of anything you will need to use systems to process at this point that is legal. Because you need systems, and those systems need to be protected at some point. So the first thing is confidentiality. Are we sure the information is kept private and secured? All right. So who is having access to my data? That is confidentiality. All right. The next one is integrity. Are we sure the data is not modified, deleted, or added? And how do we ensure integrity of my data? Very important. And finally, the third one is availability. Availability is so important, especially during COVID, for example. Availability is saying, all right, okay, cool. Even though, now let's think about this, ladies and gentlemen. People that were working in customer support and help desk suddenly all moved to work from home. Look at the problem. In their office spaces, they had fast internet. The bandwidth was very fast. Suddenly you ask them to start going home, where probably they don't have access to fast internet, right? So the problem was, okay, now availability is a problem because customers are calling, lines are breaking because these guys are working from home, their internet is horrible. For those of us that, people that work in places, if you know, Philippines is very known for outsourcing. India is also a popular destination. Ireland at the early stage. So a lot of countries that dependent and relied on outsourcing suffered initially during COVID just because the logistics was a disaster before, the organization started paying for their internet service and the transitioning. But that was an issue with availability. Now, imagine also somebody that is trading. If you are trading stock and your internet is so slow, and somebody's in North America that their internet is just so fast. So you're already at the shortage of, bidding, maybe you're bidding or whatever you're doing. So you're already at the shortage because of that. So it's a big deal. Confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Now, I like this is very important, so I'm going to spend some time here. I would like us, let me make all of us able to chat because this is very, very important actually. So if you don't mind, can we all type real quick CIA? Everybody, can we type it? CIA, everybody, real quick. So you always remember, at least everybody will remember CIA. Not Central Intelligence Agency, right? But confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Can we all take it a step further and type it? Confidentiality, integrity, type it fully, integrity, and availability. Because really in a conversation, if you talk to someone and say, well, I mean, cybersecurity fundamentally focuses on the confidentiality of our data, the integrity of the data, and the availability of data. People at least leave here today sounding smart, all right? It gives you credibility. People understand, you get the concept of cybersecurity. Those are key for us, CIA, even for people that are doing core cyber. In interviews, you see them ask those questions around, confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Very big deal. All right, cool. Thank you, everybody, for doing that. Thank you. All right, I'll stop us from sharing that real quick, but I just want anything important, I'll make sure I stop us so that we can chat about it real quick. All right, cool. Let's go to the next one. All right, before we go to that, I think it's a good segue to launch into my quiz again, guys. All right, let's quickly go to another Kahoot session. Oh boy, I'm so mean today, just giving you guys work to do. All right, let me see if I can get you guys to really do another Kahoot. You'll love it though, it's fun stuff. All right, let's go back real quick. Another Kahoot session. Let me show you guys 1 second. This one will be similar to what we just talked about right now, okay? So we have our winner for the first one. Make sure Z is not the winner again, people. And if Z is the winner, well, I'm not hating on you, Z, but let's see whether we can overtake you this time around. All right, let's see. I'm going to start in a bit. Okay, got it. So I'm going to start it now. So this time around, we're going to make it. So once it loads, it's going to ask you to choose a team. So feel free to select a team you want to be in. We'll just make it like a team one this time around. Let me share real quick. All right, so we have 3 teams: fire, ocean, sunshine. All right, so this is the pin now, 758263. Let's go. 758263. Let's go, Kahoot team. For those of us just joining, please, if you don't mind, can you just go download Kahoot real quick? It's just go to kahoot.it. That's all. Nothing fancy. Just put kahoot.it and feel free to put the code 758263. It's very easy to use. If you are not IT savvy, don't worry, not a big deal. Just call your kids, the parlor or somewhere, and tell them to come and quickly enter it for you. They are pretty savvy and they do this in their school all the time. It's a pretty cool tool, guys, ladies. All right, I'm gonna join the team too. Let me see the team that might be smart. All right, you all are smart. Let me find a smart Z. I'm gonna find your team and join so you can bail us out. Z, let me find Z. Where's Z? All right, just join one. Okay, I'm in Team Ocean now. All right, cool. All right, let's give everybody else a few more minutes, then we kick it up. Let's see. Keep joining, please. Keep joining the team. Once you log on this time around, it will ask you what team do you want to join. For some reason, fewer people are joining Sunshine. Come on now, don't eat on Sunshine. Sunshine is pretty cool. Plus 11, let's see. Okay, you can see you guys. Let's see. Let me wait another 10 seconds. Keep joining, everybody, keep joining. All right, remember we talked about confidentiality, integrity, availability in a few minutes. We're gonna talk a little bit. All right, we good? All right, you guys don't fall my hand. Let's see. All right, we're gonna start right now. Let's go. Teamwork, let's go. Let's go. Risk, threat, and vulnerability. A weakness that can be exploited is what? Excellent. All right, keep going, guys, ladies. Let's go. Excellent, 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 excellent. Oh, you guys are awesome. All right, thank you all. Excellent. All right, let's go to the next one. That was great. Most of us got it, so that's awesome. Let's go to the next one. Oh, Team Sunshine. Oh, look at you all. We were all 18 on Sunshine that are winning. Oh boy, okay. All right, let's see. Sunshine is winning. Let's go to the next one. Quiz 2. The possibility of something bad happening is what? Voodoo, risk, threat, vulnerability. Let's see. All right, let's see. Excellent. Excellent. Let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. All right. Woohoo. Let's see who the winner is still. Oh man. Let's see. Oh, Team Fire is on fire. Team Fire is on fire. Excellent. Okay, Team Fire is leading now. Excellent. Let's go. Next one. An entry or actor that may exploit a vulnerability is hacker, vulnerability, risk, threat. What do we think? Let's go, people. All right, let's see. Well, more of us got it. Let's see. It's just the best answer we should have. I know somebody, I can see reason why somebody would say, well, Anaka, yeah, but we just want to use a general term because it might not be a conventional hacker. It could be insider risk, someone that just piggybacking from, or somebody within your organization or social engineering. So it's still threat. All right, let's go to the next one. Who is leading? Fire is still on fire. Woo, man, you all are. I'm going to change team. Okay, fire. All right, let's go to the next one. Number 4, information kept private and secure is what? Integrity, ACA, threat, confidentiality. That's what we got. Let's go. All right. Classified. Well, all of us, we've had our fair share of leaked classification in the US recently. So all of us can relate with this, at least in North America, and I'm sure that part of the world too. All right, excellent. Okay, let's see who's leading. Oh boy, don't tell me Team Fire again. Oh man, they are really on fire. Okay, let's go. All right, cool. I'm not hitting on you guys. Let's see. All right, let's go. Okay, let's go to the next one. Data not modified, deleted, or added is what? Data not modified or deleted is what? Excellent. For those of us just joining, just go to kahoot.it, Kahoot.it. The pin is 758263. All right, let's see. We have one more question, then we take a 5 minutes break. All right, Team Fire is still on fire. Oh boy, they are leading so crazy now. 446. Okay. Sorry, everybody else. All right, let's take the final one. Drum roll. Grrr. Let's see the final one. System available to whom requires them is what? Ten seconds more. Keep it coming. All right, excellent. Wow. Okay, this is great. Wow, a lot of us. This is awesome. The score was awesome here. Okay, great. All right, let's see the winner here. Woohoo! Who's on the podium? Team Motion number 3. Team Sunshine number 2. And here we are. The winner, Team Fire. Let's give it up for Team Fire. All right, let us give them some love. Let me stop. Okay, let's stop there. Let's give them some love. Let me unmute everybody and let's see if we can give them some love here. Can we give them some icon love? Let's give them some love here. Let's do it here. Hey, everyone. All right, let us give them some love, Team Fire. Excellent job, guys. Give them some love. There's some love for them. Excellent. Thank you all. All right, let's take a 5 minutes break and we'll be back in the, let's say by 3:20, 3:20, let me, 3:20. So we continue 3:20 Central Time. Thank you all. See you all in a bit. Go refresh and come back for some more action stuff. All right, we'll be back 3:20. Thank you, everybody.
Power on. Bluetooth pairing. Bluetooth connected. Help me. Sometimes I feel like giving up, but I just can't. It isn't in my blood. I know that I feel nothing. Overwhelmed and insecure. Give me something more I can take to ease my mind. Just have a drink and you'll feel better. Just take her home and you'll feel better. You're telling me that it gets better. Does it ever? Help me. It's like the walls keeping it. Sometimes I feel like giving up. No medicine is strong enough. Someone help me. Crawling in my skin. Sometimes I feel like giving up, but I just can't. On phone again, feeling anxious. Afraid to be alone again. Hate this. Trying to find a way to chill. Can't breathe. Oh, is there somebody who can help me? Like the walls are caving in. Sometimes I feel like giving up. No medicine is strong enough. Someone help me. Crawling in my skin. Sometimes I feel like giving up, but I just can't get it in my head. It's me. It's like the walls are caving in. Sometimes I feel like giving up, but I just can't. Smoke a big world, they might say to you, but I won't live by someone else's rules. When they knock me down, my crew will pick me up. Yeah, we keep each other strong, keep each other strong. Rocking side by side, watching teamwork and everything. You should. Be scared to say what's on your mind. Show them all your colors, show your pride. They know what they know you like. Unite, rocking side by side, watch my teamwork and everything. You should. To go out, but we start to go out to discuss. My life into my job and love. She manipulate love.
Thank you, everybody. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. All right, welcome back, everybody. Exciting time, exciting. At the minimum, I challenge you, change your thinking a little bit. Go on a journey with me, think through things. We have not lost focus of why we're here, right? The focus is we have Fatou, a CISO that just joined our organization, and the mandate for her is to get herself ready to present to the board the key threats within the organization right now. So your role is to help her to achieve that. She needs you so crazily right now, right? So, and that's what we're going to do at the end of the day. So let's get back into our presentation real quick. All right, so for most of us, you're going to say, okay, I can, all right, let's get to the meat of it. This is why we're here, right? Let's talk about the NIST framework. Now, believe it or not, everything we've been talking, the risk identified, brings us to this journey. The journey is simple. We're saying, what is the framework we are proposing to this new employee that happens to be your boss, the CISO, in this organization? The NIST framework is a National Institute of Standard and Technology framework. It's under the US Department of Commerce, right? It has 5 key areas. The first one is identify, protect, detect, respond, recover. Remember those 5 for the start, right? Because it will guide everything else we do. Now, don't forget, don't overthink this. The framework is simply a guide of best practices on things to do to mitigate or reduce your potential risk. Let's keep it simple and let's come together. Listen, think about it like a checklist in your home. If you are closing a house today, you have a checklist, right, on things you want to check. All right, the painting, the plumbing, there's no roof leaking, the AC unit is working, filters are in, all the lawns they've brought all the layout of the grass on your lawn, the sprinkler system is working. It's a checklist, right? It doesn't mean that things are not being done. It's just a checklist to guide us on best practices of things to do. As simple as that. So, and you'll see in a bit, they're not going to tell you it's one size fits all. That is the most perfect one. But it's been a very good framework that has been historically used, and it's been very successful. So we are recommending it based on that because a lot of companies, I can tell you, most Fortune 500 for sure, they've mapped their controls, their security controls and risk to NIST framework. And when I say mapping, ladies and gentlemen, some of you on the call will say, okay, what the heck is this mapping thing? Mapping is just saying, all right, do you have this? Yes, I check it. Do you have this? Yes, I check it. Do you have this? Yes, I check it. If you don't have it, I put a comment, this is not there, and I think it's a high risk. Example, if I am checking a house and I notice that the foundation is cracked in the house, I'm going to check it as cracked foundation, right? But I'll put a comment also to say, this is urgent because it's foundation, right? If the foundation is messed up, then your house can collapse, right? Especially if it's multi-story buildings. So it's a big deal. So yes, it's a big risk, and you will call it out because it's a bigger risk in your organization at that point in time. Okay. We're going to get into some historic context. I'll give you some examples of those domains. Then we talk about maturity level, which is going to be the meat of our conversation today. And tomorrow we continue. And you guys, ladies and gentlemen, you see yourself scoring maturity today. Maturity from a perspective of saying, is this enough? Is this, do I think this meets our expectation enough? And there are so many maturity models out there. I would just use one of those maturity models today, okay? The NIST is an agency under US Department of Commerce. Its mandate and mission is to develop and promote measurement standard and technology in enhancing productivity, facilitate trading, and improve overall quality of life in general, right? That is their mandate. And the nice thing about NIST is that NIST is not just for cyber, right? It's for manufacturing, healthcare, forensic, and so many other areas, really, in general. Advanced communication, things that has to do with our critical infrastructure in the US. And it's been on since the 70s. So it's not like a new kid on the block. So it's been tested, it's robust enough, it's been adopted by so many thousands of organizations, mid-size, large, small. Everybody adopts it because it's simple, enough to cover the key critical areas that we need, okay? And these are just some lists and names historically that I've used it. You can see Japan, Mexico, Israel, United Kingdom, Siemens, Duke Energy, Toronto, Ontario Energy Board. So it's across the board, really. It's North America. So you could see that it's a mixture of different organizations globally that has really used it, which is cool. In general, some attributes about a framework, which I think we should just take note. There's a quiz, I'll talk about that later. Number one, we expect it to be easily understood. That's one of the guidelines, so that most professionals can understand it, right? Second thing, this is very important for all of us. Remember this, adaptable, meaning we can adapt it to multiple scenarios as much as possible. Very important. We know that we can adapt it at any point to multiple scenarios as needed. It's typically risk-based, meaning it's not just based on assumption. We are looking at it based on priorities, based on the risk level within your organization. That will determine how we prioritize, especially because always remember there's no unlimited resources for anybody. No matter how big, wealthy the organization is, Apple, Google, Facebook, Tesla, any of these big companies, no matter how wealthy they are, nobody has unlimited resources. So it's important we use risk-based in every decision we make. All right. All right. So another thing I'll call out, it's a living document. Very important. Type that to yourself, make it a note to yourself. Living document, meaning there's no one size finalized. It's going to be ever evolving based on your risk landscape. Think about this, ladies and gentlemen, think about this together. Let's think together. How many of us in our wildest dream 2-3 years ago, I can bet you most of us on this call, if I had told you 3 years ago that there'll be a time in the world, everybody will be shut down, nobody will be able to travel, and everybody will figure a way to work from home. You guys would have told me that, come on, you're kidding, you're out of your mind, right? But ladies and gentlemen, it happened. I know some people are now getting back into hybrid, a few people are coming back and forth and all that, but the truth is that it happened and it's still ongoing at the moment as we speak. So it's not a joke, it's a real life, these are real life concerns, right? And this is our new normal right now. So it means that our threat landscape suddenly shifts geometrically, in my opinion, because Imagine a company that 100% were working from home, and suddenly 95% started working from home. So 100% working on site, suddenly 99% started working remote. That is crazy, because how do you handle that threat? I mean, think about the way your risk just expanded in one incident, just like that. Everybody's working from home now. And think about it, let's put it in perspective. Your customer support, your help desk, your processing payroll information, benefit information, electronic medical record for your patient. So this is some serious stuff I'm talking about. So it means all of those folks were using and getting access to those sensitive information from their home. Big deal, big deal. Now think about it. One of the biggest issues is that for people that have space they're sharing, or people that work in Starbucks, work in shared location, right? That so many people have access to it. Even people that have homes that they have multiple people that live in the same home. So the risk just exploded insane in one twist of events globally, right? So those are the things we have to think about. So it's a strategic way of thinking about. I tell you that within that period, all the CISO I was speaking with, the first concern is strictly remote workforce. They tell us how we should adapt with the new threat of remote workforce. Because that's a big deal right now, really, because it means our remote workforce, everything has changed. So we need to figure out a way to prevent us as an organization from the threat of remote. So people use VPN. Recently, maybe you've heard of the news, a lot of VPN systems were even compromised. So it's just consistent compromise every time. Okay. So we're going to be mindful of that. And there are many versions. You see version 1.0, 1.1. Always be mindful and say, what is the most recent version? These are open information. You can see the information at any point in time on the different versions. Okay. So in general terms, I'll just say, the framework is a methodology for securing an organization infrastructure. It's a set of voluntary standards, guidelines, and process that company can use to potentially reduce their risk. Okay, it's a guideline. It's not like you have to do it. It's not mandatory. It's not like SOX. It's not a regulation. It's a guideline, but it's only wise to use the guideline because number one, your industry peers are using it. Number two, it reduces your risk immediately within your organization. So it makes sense to definitely use that guideline. So that's why Zainab, I'm giving you the story, how you eventually got to the point to tell Zainab that, okay, you're going to use this guideline to help this organization. Okay. All right. I'll skip a few things that I feel we can easily go through on our own. And I'll just highlight the areas I feel are very important in this case. So most times, like I said, in your mind, just think and say, this framework, we are thinking about giving the final report to your executive leadership, your board potentially. So we want to be very methodological about it. It means when we do an assessment like this, you will speak to people in different departments and don't overthink it. All you're doing is you're asking questions. That's the beauty of an assessment. You ask questions, they provide you documentation most times, and you look at the documentation. If you're comfortable enough based on the response of the people you spoke with, you will make a decision at that point. And that's where I'm taking us to, how we get to the point to make a decision. We use certain maturity curve to say, well, does this make sense or not? And the honest truth is that most times there are things you and I can easily make a case and say, well, does this make sense? Does it not make sense? You can easily tell yourself. So we get into that in a bit, okay? So some of the common reasons organizations adopt the NIST framework. Number one, protecting sensitive data, of course. The framework is easy to use. It helps us to prioritize the actions we need to take to protect our data. It also ensures that more critical items are addressed first. So because we don't have unlimited resources, it makes sense for us to focus on items that are more critical and important to our organization, right? Okay. I'll skip that. Those are quiz for you guys later. All right, cybersecurity framework. You will see the core, the profiles, the implementation guide also. Let's get to this. Now, I'm going to make us able to share real quick, and I would like every one of us to type these 5 steps. Let's go, everybody, if you don't mind. So the first thing I would like us to type is, let me make us, all right. So the functions: identify, protect, detect, respond, recover. Now, what does the identify mean? It means we are saying, listen, don't overthink this one. This is one thing I feel a lot of people could easily lose focus on. So,
Power on.
somebody said we have 7 steps now, and identify, protect, respond, and there's 7 steps now. I don't think so, but we can double check that. But to my knowledge, except there's a new release of version, it's always been 5. I don't think there is 7. But let's stick with this for now. So identify, protect, detect, respond, and recover. So what does identify mean? It says what processes and asset needs protection within your organization. Now, let me tell you what I've seen. Believe it or not, many times you'll be surprised that a lot of organizations don't even know the assets they have. That is crazy stuff. And it's a common thing. It's not a new thing. It's probably been historically one of the biggest problems I've seen in my clients, really, because they are, think about it, if you're a company as big as, let's say, Microsoft or any of these big companies, many times you will not know all the assets you have. I'm not talking of physical asset, your digital asset, your laptop, and look at this, everybody. It has gone crazy now with IoT, Internet of Things, because now people use smartphones, they use beacons, they use their tablets. It's a ton of things that people are using now. So it gets even much more crazy right now. So you are not just monitoring laptop or desktop, you're monitoring everything. It's just insane amount of things you're monitoring now, right? The other thing is, what safeguards are available to protect your asset? How do we protect our asset, right? The third thing about detect is saying, what technique can we use to detect if there is an issue, right? What is the mechanism to detect an issue? Now, what about respond? If there's an incident, how do we contain the impact of the incident? Then finally, recover. How do we recover from it? Let's take it to the home front. For those of us that have never heard of cyber in their experience, let's take it simple. Number one, you are so wealthy in your home, you have many devices, but you don't know which is which. All right, you don't know which one is your devices. So the challenge I will say to you is that, hey, sir, ma'am, we don't know how many devices you have, maybe 20, 30, 50, we don't know. So that's first step. Second thing I'll say is, okay, how do we protect those devices you have? Start with giving me an inventory of the one you even know first, right? Let's see. Then how do we protect it? Are we going to put antivirus? Are we going to put identity access management tools to, provision your systems? We're going to think about how do we protect it? Endpoint security tools. What are we putting on your system to protect it? Then detect. How do we know if there's an attack on your system, in your network? Is there a way we can detect it? Oh, you might tell me, well, I have firewall that can detect stuff, or I have antivirus. Okay, fine. What about respond? In the case there is an actual incident in your home, let's say, and this happens all the time. You just find out one day, oh my God, I can't have access to my system. I need to take it to Geek Squad in Best Buy because my system is infected with a virus. So what's our strategy to respond? That would happen at some point. So we have to think of how do we respond? Then finally, how do we recover? You take it to Geek Squad, they're not trying to help you to recover it, right? Recover your old files and all the information. That is a big deal. Now, those are things we don't pray for. Now, think about it. Even though I've said it in your home structure, the reality is that this could be an enterprise, a huge organization, is the same principle we still follow. Believe it or not, sometimes you look at some organization and you wonder, oh Lord have mercy. Are you serious? Are you guys seriously in business? But they're doing well. They have the money. But it's amazingly crazy some things you see the biggest organization in the world still do. I mean, you'll be shocked. You'll be shocked. Fortune 500 or 1000 will tell you, we are tracking our inventory with Excel. It's crazy stuff, man. I'm telling you, but it's real. Those are reality. So those are the things you'll be doing and assessing and asking questions and asking, okay, guys, does this make sense? I can't assess this based on this because it makes no sense. So those are the kind of thinking I want us to prepare our mind to do shortly. Okay. So domain areas, ladies and gentlemen, look at this. This is the way it's broken down. We've talked about identify, protect, detect, respond, recover. Let me do a quick quiz for us, real quick. I'll keep the screen up and I'll let you able to chat real quick. I'll ask some questions and I want you guys to just quickly respond. All right, so under what functional area is recovery planning? Under what functional area is recovery planning? Can you type it real quick, please? Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, let's go to the next one. Under what functional area is awareness and training? We all agree that's crazy. We have to security awareness and training. We have to keep training people, as a way to prevent. All right, under where? All right, awareness and training. Let's take a look one more time. Thank you. All right, what about under which area is asset management, managing our assets? Asset management. Excellent, 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 excellent. All right, let's take the final one. Under which area is communications? Communications. Excellent. You guys are awesome. Okay, good, 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 good. And please, if you don't mind, just go ahead and type in when I ask you to do that. It's part of our experience. Our program is an experience. It's not just conventional way of doing stuff. So it's part of what we've designed to make it interactive so we can keep retention for the team, okay? So type, because you remember it more when you type also, all right? Okay, cool. Thank you. Excellent job, everybody. That was great. Great job, great job. Let's go to the next one. All right, I'll skip this one. It's a cheat sheet. I'll skip it for you guys. Okay. The profile, the way I want us to think about profile in simple terms is this, everybody. Every environment is different. Every industry is different. Let me tell you the first thing a CISO or a VP of anything in leadership would always ask you when you do an assessment in the private Fortune 1000. The thing they will always ask you is not just that you give them an assessment. Let me see who wants to give it a guess. What else do you think they would ask you? Who wants to give it a guess? Besides giving them an assessment report, they will ask you one question. I think there's virtually none that will not. Recommendations. I love that. Recommendation. Yes, I agree. Okay, let me pause. And I'll show you guys what the document you guys will work on will look like. But before we get into that recommendation and all that, let me help out. Most C-level executive, of course, they will ask for a recommendation. Not just recommendation, how to fix it. Thank you. You're awesome. You all are super awesome. You guys can teach this class. I'll just chill and be drinking margarita. But excellent. That's really it. They will ask for recommendations, how to fix it. It's gone are the days to just come and tell me I have a problem. Any fool can tell me I have a problem. In fact, I know I have a problem. That's why I'm bringing you in. So it's not just telling me I have a problem. You need to tell me what are the recommendations, and also in terms of priorities, which one should we tackle first? I need your advice there. And honestly, this is good faith advice. These people are just like you and I, they just want help. So take the time to think about it and say, when I do those assessments to senior leadership, CISOs mostly, I take my time and say, okay, and I bring my team and say, hey guys, forget this guys. Within us, you rank your first 5. I rank all of us will rank our first 5, right? Then we sit down and say, okay, let's see the one that we all agree on. Naturally, that will be number 1. The one that is close by, we debate it and put it in number 2. Vice versa, eventually we get our top 5, right? Because with that critical thinking, we can see things from different perspectives at that point in time. And don't overthink it. It's just like saying, I come to your house, right? And I identify your network password is not strong, right? I identify your windows are not well tightened. A burglar can come in. I identified that the phone you use, you don't have multi-factor authentication capability in it. Ladies and gentlemen, some things are easy to fix. Instantly, I would say number 2 is easy to fix. All right, you said my password is not strong. Hello, change it quickly. Give me strong, let me strong one. Easy, done. I've resolved that one. So that's the way we think about it. Even though the risk is high, but the effort to implement it is not high, right? It's ease of implementation is easier than other projects out there. So that's the way we're going to look at it and say, okay, we're going to make a decision from that perspective. All right. Okay. Implementation tiers, and very soon you guys will see, partial implementation, risk informed, repeatable, adaptable. I left this there, but we will not be using this guidance. We'll use a framework that is popular out there. We call it CMMI framework. So we use that framework to maturity model to perform our assessment in this program. And it's because it's popular out there. It's used by program managers a lot. So most at the country level, most organizations in the world can relate with it. As a matter of fact, most people would adopt it to their own, but ultimately it's similar to what we've all done before. But so we're going to use CMMI for our own program, and you guys will see that in a bit. Now, let me show you guys examples. So let's take the first one. Remember we talked about identify, right? Identify, an example says supply chain risk management. Ladies and gentlemen, every one of this is not you and I writing it, it's already there. This is already given to us. Our role is to actually perform the assessment itself, which we'll get to in a bit, okay? So don't worry. Protect, another domain area. Remember, we talked about protection, right? In protection, for example, we're talking about identity management. Now, what does that mean, ladies and gentlemen? If you are being onboarded to your company, they will use a tool to onboard you. They would upload your request, and they would provision your access in the system for whatever system they use. Some people use Active Directory, CyberArk, whatever they use, doesn't matter. And we want to make sure that process is well defined, right? We want to make sure that it's secured. We want to make sure that they don't give you unauthorized access, right? So it's a lot of things we have to just put in consideration in general, okay? Respond is another one. Think about it. Respond is saying, okay, there's an incident that happened. How do we respond? Look at the first one. They say, notification from detection system are investigated. Now, one thing we should remember, sometimes you would have systems that would notify you that there's an incident or blah, blah. Sometimes it's a false alarm or false positive. So it will show like it's a crisis, but in reality, it's not a crisis. And that's okay. That happens a lot, okay? But it's just to give you an idea of what typically could happen. But in general, somebody said intrusion detection system. That's a good one. People ideally should have an IDS in their environment to detect if there is an incident. But sometimes people don't. Sometimes people rely on their firewall. Some firewall has a kind of intrusion detection system embedded in it. So, but those are the questions you're going to ask in an assessment. Somebody said intrusion prevention system also. Yes. IPS is one that would, some firewall has a mix of both. They could have IDS, and for those of us that are not IT, don't overthink it. Intrusion prevention system is just saying, I'm preventing attack. Detection says I'm detecting it, right? So we want a system that potentially can do both, That's what we typically will recommend, at least, so that you can detect and prevent. And once you can, because if you can't even detect, then how do you know there's an attack? So that's a big one also. Okay. All right. So ways to think about the profile in general is mostly, I would say, it's a customization of the core for certain sector. So think about it that we can profile different industry. Healthcare. Our project is healthcare. Some of you on this call are healthcare professionals, are people that have seen healthcare. Some of you are even working on healthcare certification, stuff like that. Healthcare is one of the biggest targeted areas I've seen recently because at the minimum, many times they have this impression that healthcare adoption of technology is slower than insurance or finance, right? So, which is true in some cases. Healthcare is always more meticulous. It's not like your area, you see a lot of eye-driven technology, not in terms of equipment. Equipment are matured, right? A lot of equipment stuff, research, but in terms of the technology, mostly you won't see a lot of adoption like the way we do in finance or in insurance, right? So you'll see some difference there for sure. So they are soft target. They try to target them, and many times healthcare providers will not want to. They want to prevent the embarrassment on their reputation, so they will just settle out real quick. So you will not even hear of the story most of the time. All right. In general, you can see here also the business objective defined, the categories, requirements in terms of legislation, regulation, policy, procedure, and we'll talk about that in a bit. You see that in real life. Framework 7-step process in general, right? So this is the steps to actually implement the framework, right? In general, prioritize and scope, orient, create a current profile, do a risk assessment, target the profile, determine, analyze, and prioritize gap, create action plan. This is the theoretical side. In reality, I will skip all this and focus on execution. What do you need to do? In reality, let's keep it simple. Fatou has a problem. I'm here to meet with the key stakeholders, understand how they perform different areas of NIST framework. Based on their response, I will either follow up, and if there is a gap, I will identify a gap. As simple as that. And that's going to be our goal in the next few minutes, okay? Some general things in supporting risk management framework. I'm sneaking this in the conversation so that you can understand that sometimes in cybersecurity, supply chain is also a risk. So that was why I kept this there. Let me give you an example. Last 2 years has been a huge problem in the cyberspace. Let me tell you why. Because you all will agree with me, supply chain was a big issue because of COVID, right? So because of that, a lot of organizations right now, the wait time for routers, servers, printers, any of these hardware devices, firewalls, is taking them a lot of hours, So the training is 3 hours, sorry. We'll be done in another 1 hour. All right, so supply chain risk is also a big risk in cybersecurity right now. It's a big risk because if there is no availability of the equipment we need, that would expose us to cyber threat immediately. All right. This you will see in our documentation where you guys will work. The roadmap concept is just identifying areas of development, alignment, and collaboration within our teams. And you will propose a roadmap, which we will do as a team on what should be fixed. Then let's talk about this, and this will be the last topic. Then we get into the meat of it, the execution phase, which is the biggest piece of our puzzle, okay? Now, everybody on this call, the CMMI model, this is all you need to know. Let's talk about this one by one. Many times, let me give an example. When you are scoring in a maturity model, you would score ranking of 1 to 5, right? Many times your one could be an environment that is poorly controlled. The processes are unpredictable. It's just nothing available. That is a bad environment, right? A second environment that I call managed is they have some kind of process planned at the project level, right? But it's often reactive. There's a project manager or a manager that has the knowledge, but he or she does not really have it documented. So that's a big problem, right? Level 3, the processes are defined. They have the right people available. Level 4 is a controlled environment that there's QC around it. It's pretty stable. Level 5 is like a well-run oil machine that is just fine-tuned, continuously improved. Personally, when I do assessment, I'm very conservative. For you to get above 4, I must be able to defend it also. So when you do your assessment, if you put 5 for any area, I need you to be able to tell me your reason for giving 5, because in reality, somebody's going to challenge you to understand your reason and your thinking for giving those scores. But I would rather give you 2, then we debate it, and you now tell me, oh yeah, you have more documentation, you have more evidence, then I can push you to 3, than me keeping you at 4 and realizing you're really a disaster. So I'll let you make the judgment. And one thing you realize, listen, ladies and gentlemen, as we do this exercise, you realize some of the time you start debating, you will not necessarily agree on different assessments. It's okay. It's part of the process, normal. All right. You even get a bit heated and say, well, no, I don't agree. This is the way I'm seeing it. That's okay. Convince me with reasonable assurance to feel comfortable, based on the documents available, the communication I've had, to get me to a place I would agree with you. As simple as that. And sometimes we just don't agree, and that's okay too. And we just have a neutral arbiter to come in and tell us what they think, and we just adopt that at the end of the day. So this is important. So let me ask you a question. Generally speaking, first scenario, I went to an environment. I asked them, how do you track assets? They told me, we don't have a tool to track assets. However, we have Jackie on board. Jackie is very smart. He has good knowledge of all what's going on within the environment, but we just don't track it. What would you give that company? I love that. That's the thinking. I love that. I love that. Yep. Okay. Ideally, it's tricky. I set it up in a tricky way. In reality, when I say, so, I'll go with 1 or 2. I would agree. I would never go beyond 2, though. The reason I said we might sneak to 2 is because I was not clear enough. I said there is somebody there that has the knowledge of how things are being done, right? So there's someone that is managing it. But the problem is, if this someone leaves, it's a disaster, because if he or she wins lottery tomorrow, we are messed up because they've gone with the knowledge. So that's the danger, right? So ideally, I'm going to be within 1 and 2. If I did not put the comments that there's somebody that has the knowledge, definitely they are 1. So that's where I think, okay, let's go to another one. Okay, so I went to an organization. They have an incident response plan, which simply means if there's an issue, they can respond. They have it documented, right? They have the incident response plan documented, right? And however, there is no process to quarterly review the plan. So where do we put them? Excellent. You guys are awesome. Yep. All right. I see your point. I can take 3. Remember, it's subjective. You can still convince me to bring it to 2 with your argument. My only reason of saying 3 is that I can take 3 is they have a process defined, right? They have it documented. However, They don't have a process in place to continuously review the document. So I can take a chance and say, well, they have it. Okay, I see your point. Somebody said they are reactive. Yes, that's fair. But sometimes, let me tell you what I've seen. You will use your judgment a lot, because many times, they could tell you that, well, they review it every once in 2 years or once in 18 months, something like that. You might want them to do it once in a year, right? Which is the best practice. They might say, well, but we review it once in 15 months or 18 months, whatever, 15 months or 16 months, something like that. They could tell you they review it like every 15 months, even though every year is a best practice. So get more context to come to that conclusion. That's what I'm driving at. Okay, look at another scenario. You requested for how onboarding is done, and they told you onboarding is done using an identity access management software, and every manager has to sign up on it. It has to be approved by a second layer manager, and quarterly there is access review done within the environment. Thirdly, there is access recertification done every year. So where would you score that? What would you say? Definitely I'll go 4 or 5. 5 might be, if I realize, because think about what I've said. That's about 3 layers of review already. So it's almost like a loop. So minimum, I can take 4, 5. 5, if you give me a case to say, it's constantly reviewed, almost monthly level. There's a tool that automatically reviews it and send an alert if there was a breach or if there was an error. You get me to a point I feel this is really running so well that I feel that they are matured at this point in time, right? So I would take 4 or 5. Now that is my thinking. That's my thought process. Are we together? If we get the breach, the tweet, give me a thumbs up, everybody, before we jump into the actual. Let's go. Give me a thumbs up if you get if it's making sense to you. If it doesn't make sense, just tell me. Don't worry. I'm used to that. Just say, hey, can you give me more context? I would explain. Don't worry. All right, awesome. Good. So that's the thinking. And like I said, don't get personal, don't get mad on somebody else thinking. Is their thinking respected, right? And the key is, don't just tell me this. Give me, convince me, bring me on board on your thinking, because the truth is that most of us are not thinking the same way, right? So I'm curious, genuinely curious to know your perspective. So it's not like I'm being malicious. I want to know, okay, how did you come to that thought process? And that's what I do with my own team. I'll say, all right, Jack, Elizabeth, Fatou, Bimbo, John. I'll say, do you mind? Okay, how did you get to that conclusion? What's your thought process around this? Then they'll tell me, well, I'm thinking they could be vulnerable because they have no key rotation on the cloud. So this could be a threat to us, right? Now, ladies and gentlemen, maybe on this call, one thing that we should agree, one of the most popular things out there today is the cloud, right? Everywhere in the world today, people are moving to the cloud. So with that comes additional layer of risk. The risk is that all the data you suddenly have kept in your own facility that you think are secured, at least it's your facility, is no longer with you. It's almost like the case of Target we talked about. Now you've outsourced your data to a third party. Now, the third party might be a big name. Okay, let me throw this out. Let's see your thinking. All right, so I outsourced all my data, I migrated, and migration means move. I've moved it to the cloud. And ladies and gentlemen, when we say cloud, I'm not saying the sky. It's just an infrastructure, mostly a data center that people have put all of these devices. They are keeping it, hosting it for us. They put millions of dollars to keep it there, and we just subscribe to it, right? And it's easy for us because we have the best to technology in the world. best to scalability. It's cheaper for us. It's much more robust for us as a business. But right now, it's even getting much more safer too. But the question is, if there was a breach tomorrow, think about it, ladies and gentlemen. I think we would all agree. Nobody cares, even if you're Amazon, Google Cloud, Azure, Microsoft, you're still liable. So let me ask you, how do most organizations prevent themselves from this liability? Let me see. Let me see your ideas. Let's go. Type it, type it. Even though you're still liable, somebody said SLA, I'll take that, service level agreement, that's fair. Yeah. But there's one thing I want you to say. Thank you. Femi, you're awesome. Amaka, everybody's right, but the big one I was looking for, SLA is a big one. Service level agreement is just saying what's the agreement. So if there's a breach, we know what we are collecting back from each other, right? But let's even say, because before we go to war, because contracts are important when there's crisis, right? We're all nice to each other until there's a crisis, then we say, okay, look at the contract, look at the agreement, it gets messy, right? Insurance is the big one, I think. Encryption is good, yes, I agree, but insurance is important because most of this, the first thing you're going to ask, if I'm doing assessment, I'll ask the C-level and the general counsel, do you guys have cyber insurance? And how often do you review and renew the cyber insurance? If you tell me no, that's a problem. SOC 2 report is also good, So we transfer the risk to insurance, very important. It's a big deal. We can't run from it, sorry. All right, excellent, ladies and gentlemen, excellent. You guys are on. Love it. All right, we'll take the final quiz. Then we now jump to lab. All right, there's one more thing I need you all to do for me, if you don't mind. Very important in our program. During the break, we would ask you to do it. And the reason it's important is it helps us to quickly know to have you well. First thing I'm going to do is we want to create a group on WhatsApp so that we can keep you guys engaged even though after the program on different activities but we just decided to do it here. So click on that link so that you can join that WhatsApp group. If you're on this call right now, please quickly click on it so that you can join the group. We can send documents for NIST specifically to you. Just join that link. That's the first thing. If you don't mind doing that real quick, please. The second thing I would like us to do, if you don't mind, please. Somebody asked me, are we going to record the video and all that? Please just join and like our YouTube page real quick. If you've done it, just give me thumbs up real quick. If you've done it, give me thumbs up real quick. So 2 things I want you to do real quick, if you don't mind, please. Click on the chat for the WhatsApp so that you can be taken to that WhatsApp group immediately. Second thing is on the YouTube page, click on it. Kindly just put your like there so that you can follow, because I'm going to post this video once we are done, maybe later in the night or tomorrow morning. You will have access to it. It will inform you when it's ready there too. You guys can have access to the workshop. Somebody just send the WhatsApp link. I sent the link for the WhatsApp to you all already. It's actually there. It's already sent. Let me double check. Did I not send it to everybody? Let me resend it. So I sent the WhatsApp group. Let me send it again. Please go ahead and just add yourself to that WhatsApp group right now. Let me double check and see that. Is Gemini on the call? Gemini, are you on the call? Let me see if that group is there. Just quickly join it so that it's easier for me most times to easily reach out to the team on the WhatsApp group. Please join the WhatsApp group immediately. It's the easiest way to keep us, so I can put information there and we can always chat. Now, for everybody, please just always do the same thing we all do. Only put, I may restrict it for the purpose of, we don't want people to start spamming us, and please, nobody's going to ask you for anything personal. Don't ever give anybody your information on, if anybody comes and say they are from us, they're asking for money, stuff like that. We are cyber folks, don't fall for those tricks, okay? People are crazy everywhere in the world. Just make sure you are very mindful of that. But please join that group, very important, because we need it for sharing some information, especially with the group very soon. And Yeah, let's do that real quick. Okay, the other thing is YouTube page. Let me send that again. Please, for the YouTube page, if you don't mind, please just go there and click on the YouTube page and just click on the like button real quick. Oh, sorry, I didn't send it to everybody. I should send it to everybody. Okay, I just sent the YouTube page. Just go ahead and just quickly like us real quick for the YouTube page. It'll take us just 30 seconds and somebody said, is there a number to join the WhatsApp group on the phone? There's no number. Just click on that group. This link we sent you guys, and it should allow you to join. Join that group. And it's just going to be so that some of these documents, I will send it to the same group. So you can have it on your WhatsApp. You can potentially use that for yourself if you have questions, because you'll see why I need this in a bit. All right. Okay, cool. All right, let's get back to quickly do the final quiz for today. Then the next step would be we jump into an actual assessment. You guys already get it because your thinking is really amazing right now. You know what, I'm tempted. Let me quickly show you guys what we are going to be doing real quick so that we can, and all of this information are available for you, so don't sweat it. I'll just show you guys what the final report looks like. Then I would also show you guys the documents you're going to be working on. All right, let me share my screen, everybody. Give me 1 second. This is great. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the reason you're in this class right now. I'm about to show you, even though we've started it already, but this is the meat of it. This is great stuff. Let me show you guys real quick. All right, let's start with the first one. Now, let me start with the basic of it. All right, let me show you where the assessment comes in. Okay. If you guys see this document, and now don't sweat it, my people. Don't even second guess anything. Don't stress yourself. This is the people you are going to speak with. Let me highlight in yellow. And this is already uploaded to your LMS. Okay, you have access to it. You can pull it anytime. And I will also send it to the group just for easy access, but it's already available for everybody. Make sure you join the group so that you can have access quick for this too. Look at this. This is the CEO. Look at all of the information, the people you'll be talking with. These are the people, right? These are the different domain areas, which we already know. Ignore all of this summary. The big one I want you to focus on is, we know the scorecard already, 1, 2, 3, 5, right? Now, these are the 5 areas we care about, right? We're going to do the assessment based on. So I'll start with 1. I will do 1 assessment. Then you guys will do it together as my own, you work on the assessment together. Then we now work as a group also. Then I'll tell you what we'll do after that. So should we take the break now? Let me see what time it is. All right, we'll do our quiz. All right, give me 1 second. Let me stop sharing this. Let's share another one. I'm going to share. Let's share the Word document. Okay. All right, let me show you guys something real quick. This is the final output, ladies and gentlemen. This is awesome. This is the final thing you're going to send to your leadership. This is what you're giving your leadership. All right. The company is called Texas Global Health. And don't worry, look at and don't sweat it. None of us is going to write anything from scratch. Let me make sure you understand. Let me take it again. People that will say, oh my God, what is this report? It's 11 page, but you're not writing nothing from scratch. Gone are those days. You're not doing nothing from scratch. We're just going to be adjusting template. Can we type it together? I'm just modifying template. Can we type that together real quick? Modify template. Life is too small for you to do everything. Why would you want to do everything? People, can we type it real quick? Everybody, please just start modify templates. If you ever find yourself building anything from scratch, you are doing too much, people. That's rubbish. I know we're all smart, but honestly, we can't be smarter than the whole world together. So if people have done it before, We're just going to modify template, people. We ain't going to reinvent no wheel. We're going to modify. That's what we're going to do. All right, so this is a solid one I just modified for this program. Executive summary is done. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? How many of us were in my ChatGPT training? ChatGPT. Amazing, really. If you were there, just type, or if you know about ChatGPT, for example. Thank you all, thank you all. If you know about it, give me thumbs up. ChatGPT, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, nowadays, if I'm trying to work on project or report, I just type samples of those on ChatGPT. The freaking thing gives it to me. I modify it to my own environment. 90% of the things there are solid already. It's just 10% I will need to modify and clarify to make it custom to the environment. So, man, we are moving with resources that can make our life amazingly solid without stress, unlike before. This example summary, of course, I modified it, but I started with ChatGPT too, and it's even better than the ones I actually worked on in real life. What I got from here is even better than what oh, but Ayo, thank you for that. Somebody said there's now a paid pro version. Personally, I will subscribe, I'll pay for it. I won't even think about it. Straight. Full disclosure, it's not my business, so I don't want ChatGPT. But because of the value I've seen in the program, or that tool, it's a no-brainer. I would never think about it. I'll pay for that version immediately. And I didn't even know there was a paid version now, but it's because it's going to make your life easy. But anyway, for us, look at this. Only the things I highlighted in yellow, you will just make a change. For example, if you identify concerns based on our assessment, just put those concerns here. If you identify ways we can fix those concerns, just put it here. That's it. Then, of course, the other things are cosmetics. We already put the, background of the whole story. This is the background of the story. It's a healthcare business. Let me make it bold. It's a big company, and they are facing a lot of issues in attempt to their EMR system. EMR means electronic medical record system, right? And the storage. So they are constantly attacked right now. So they just want you to do a quick assessment for them so that they can know what to do. So all of these are standard. You're not going to make changes. So really look at the names of those people. Key stakeholders interviewed. These are the people you interviewed. Fatou Malik, Janet. These are the people, Janet Mbappe, Kofin Joku, Brian Wilson, Garish Patel, Elizabeth Olanike is the general counsel. So these are the people you're speaking with. So this is where you're going to come in as a group. Recommendations. For example, I will do one with us and I'll put my recommendation here based on what we all do together. Then you do the same thing for any other one you choose. Just put the recommendation here based on your own. Then this is another one, summary of recommendation and action plan. Like some of you said earlier on, you can now put your action plan here and your recommendation here. So we'll do one together, then I'll allow you all to work as a team. Tomorrow will be a lot of teamwork. We're just going to work as a group a lot so that we come up with a concrete document in each group. That's the goal. And individually, we can always replicate, but as a group, we're just going to focus on execution. And it's okay. What do you guys think about this? We don't have to get everything, all the assessment done, but do as many as possible and identify areas we think, because think about it, ladies and gentlemen, the questionnaires are maybe 108 areas. The truth is, if you can do 20, I know you can do 50, you can do 100 if the need arises. So my goal is to get each one of us at least to do 10 to 15 in terms of giving it a score. I've given you the output from the interview already. Yours is to come up and say, how do you score this whole thing? That's going to be your focus. So let me show you guys real quick. Let me share real quick. Thank you for your patience. You guys are awesome. I know it's Saturday. You should be hanging, chilling, doing your thing. So let me show you guys. Let's take the first one. Let me do the first one. You guys will keep me honest. I want you all to be scoring with me. I'll ask you, what do you think I should score this person? You tell me and I'll score it based on that. Ignore this for a second. I'll just rely on you guys. So they've given me their response. Look at the response. This is the people I spoke with, right? Let me keep this so that we can keep this focus. I'm going to hide this. So I'm going to start with the identify. Look at the question. I asked them, is there an asset management program? Are the hardware and software asset inventory? That was the question I asked. And I asked the CISO and the IT manager. These are the people I asked this question. So you guys will tell me if I should, what I should score them. You know, let me see their response here. Did I keep it? Oh, give me 1 second. Where's leadership responder? MNOPQR. Okay, sorry, is it? This is it, the respondent. Sorry, okay, let me show you guys. And one thing I'll tell you guys, please, if you don't know how to use Excel, make sure you learn Excel. Excel is very important for, actually for most work now. But the nice thing is it's easy to learn, so don't sweat it. We have a program on that coming up too, just to guide our guys on using Excel. All right, so look at this. Let's quickly see this. All right, you guys call this with me. Look at the answer. They said there's no inventory of asset management at the moment. There's currently a spreadsheet maintenance using secured Google Drive. How would you score it? I'm going to rely on you guys to guide me. Somebody said 2, 1, 1. Okay. Special maintenance using secured Google Drive. Okay, you know, personally, I would go 2 because let me tell you why. 1 is also okay. But sometimes, let me tell you what I think. We want to play game. Sometimes you want to give people a way to save face. So you have to be careful too and strategic. 1 or 2 is bad, right? But let me make you feel you are not too solidly bad. You're bad. I know you are bad. But I'm trying to make you save face because think all your decisions can get people fired. And that's okay. I'm going to be independent and still do my job. But many times you want to make sure that, number 1, give them credit for what they're doing well, right? So that if I'm giving my own final report, I always start with all the good things they've done, so that they can have a feel of they are part of something special too. Even though I know I'm still going to eat you and slam you hard for the things that are wrong, but first give them credit for things that are right, so that just keep it balanced, because I want you to call me back, right? So that we don't, just be smart about it. So I will go 2 for that reason. But if you give me 1, 2, I'll take it because it's conservative. I'll take it. I won't take it. I won't get mad at 2, at 1. All right. Okay, let's see another one. The question is there software used to track assets? Do you have a tracking solution for assets? They said there's currently no asset tracking solution. Software track with Excel and partially in OneNote in the cloud. All right. So I will probably, what do you guys think here? 2, 2, 2. Okay. All right. I'll go with 2, 2. I can live with that. Is the asset management communicated enterprise-wide? They said, excuse me, there's totally no communication since we have no implemented system, blah, blah. What do you guys think here? They've not done any implementation. What do you guys think? 1, I agree. We give them 1 here. Okay, that's fair. Okay, that's reasonable. I can live with that too. All right, let's another one. Is there workflows showing the connection with external system? It says since we do not have system software delivery in our, we do not have any connection with external. What do you guys think on this one? All right, I'll take 1 too. Is the risk assessment done? Let me delete so that there's no bias. Let's see this one. Is the risk assessment done, classifying asset, blah, blah, blah? They said there's a partial risk assessment done 18 months ago. No new risk assessment since then. What do you guys think? Okay, I'll take 2 too. Now, don't worry. Even if you have lower than 2, I'm at peace, because you can still defend it. That if they say, oh well, 1 is too bad, all right, okay, I'll give it 2. That ends the story, right? They feel good at, because your result potentially can. I've seen my result get people fired before, so it's not a joke. Yeah, because people will make decisions and say, who is responsible for this? And you realize, oh, these guys have not been doing anything. Then it can get them to lay them off, or they can automate their job, or they can bring third-party guys to just be doing the job those guys are doing, if they feel it's not really adding value to them. That happens all the time. All right, look at this. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's the thinking. That's your assignment. So your first individual assignment, this is your first assignment, everybody, is this has been posted to the group. I want you to go and do this assessment yourself. Just on this first one, identify. Let's take it again. On the identify section, I want you to just go in and do this assessment, which I just started. And I can send mine to you in the WhatsApp group so that you can just have it as a reference. But that's going to be our first, I would say, I'll put version 1.1. That will be the one I'll put in the group so that you can see the one I started, because I want to just replicate the same thing I did. Now, one thing I want to prepare your mind, everybody on this call, as you are thinking about this, naturally, all the ones I'm scoring 1, it means those are problematic children. If you are thinking of areas I will call out and say we should start looking at, anytime I'm scoring 1, naturally I'll start saying this is a big issue, right? And I will expect people to start thinking about what should we do about it, right? So prepare your mind for that. But what I'm going to make us do is, what I'm going to do real quick is, it's for the detect section, this detect section, I just want us to feel it and have fun as a group. So I'll do like a group section for us where we just score our point in a group. Then somebody would finally send whatever you did as a group, send it to the WhatsApp group we are creating right now, and give your group a name. Then those in that group will submit that as our first group assignment. Hold it first, but that will be your first group assignment. Group assignment. So whatever you guys come up with in the detect, let me show you what I mean. We go to the detect page here, which is this place. If you guys understand what I mean, just give me a thumbs up. If not, I can repeat. So just come here, you do the same thing I did. Just say, okay, question, this is the response. What do you score them here? Here, there's no logical network diagram provided. I'll say 1, because there's no logical diagram. How do we group ourselves? No, don't worry, I'll group you right now. It will just be working session. We'll just do a quick working session. People will just, the idea is to get you guys to talk about it. You'll see the way people debate and argue, so to speak. That's the goal for today. All right. Question there? Don't worry, when you're in the group, somebody can lead and just say, hey, guys, all right, what do you guys call this one? So if I'm the person that jumps in, I'll say, okay, first one, question, is a baseline of network operation and blah, blah, blah. You say, yes. What do we score it? I scored 1 already. I gave it 1. All right. But before we do that, because I know some people might eventually drop, let's quickly do something, please. Let's do the final Kahoot for today. Then we'll do that, and we'll wrap it up. Then tomorrow, we need to be in tomorrow's session, because that's going to be a big bang. We're going to finalize all the issue we found. We work together as a team, put it in our report. I will lead that also, but you guys will be guiding me and tell me what I should put based on what you guys have seen as a risk. Then I'll put it as our final report. Then that's it. Our contribution together will produce a final report. But before we do that, let's do our final Kahoot question. Then we'll just do the quick working session. All right, let's quickly do the final one. Let's see. Just 7 questions, but it's a fun question. Let's see. How many questions there? Okay. All right. Can you all see my screen? Let's quickly do the Kahoots. And let me start it. I'm going to do team mode again real quick. The code is there for us to use. So we have team fire, team ocean. If you join team fire because they won the last time, that's good. I'll probably do that too, like you. Don't disappoint me now, though. All right, so the game ID is 15160. All right, you can begin adding your names. For those of us that joined late, just go to Kahoot, put the pin there. You can see everybody's joining Team Fire. Oh my God. Well, Team Fire must perform more. Oh man. You know, I ain't mad at you. I joined Team Fire too. Hopefully I won't jinx you guys. All right, let's give everybody else another few seconds and we pick it up. It's gonna be fun, just very little quiz to Team Fire, Ocean, and Sunshine. All right, let's see if we can start now. Let's see how many we have here. Wow, I can see Sunshine is really a lot of people there. Let's keep going, people. Let's keep going. Please join more, join more. The code is 15160. Somebody said you can't see my screen, really? Oh, all right. Sorry about that. Let me reshare. Oh, okay. You can't see my screen. That is strange. Okay. See my screen now? Sorry, if you can see my screen, give me thumbs up, please, so that I know everybody can see the screen. If you don't mind, please, if you can see my screen, give me thumbs up. Thank you. All right, cool. Okay, so let's start the Kahoot, everybody. Let's see if we can get a few of our guys. And don't worry, it's just fun game. It will test your knowledge a little bit. It's just about 4 questions. Okay, let's go. Let's start it. First question. Oh, I hope I didn't do the wrong one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry. I apologize. I think I gave you guys the wrong game. So let me stop this game. Let me stop this game. I messed this up. Sorry, guys. Let's see how we can stop this game. All right, let me stop sharing. Sorry, I gave you guys the wrong game. Okay, we're gonna go to a new one. Sorry. Let's go to the right one. NIST workshop. Yep. All right, so let me start this one. This is the final one for today, and I'll send it to you all. Let's share the screen now. Team mode. Sorry, everybody. I shared the old one. Okay, this is the new one. Fire, ocean, sunshine. Let's go. The game pin is 407045. Let me copy it and paste it. 407045. 407045. Thank you all. 407045. Four zero seven 045, and that's going to be the final one for today. All right, so let's just quickly start real quick. All right, let's start. First question. What are some reasons organizations adopt NIST framework? All right, one more second. Okay. Wow, Team Fire is fire in the beginning. All right, next one. Governance and risk assessment is under what domain? Response, protect, identify, detect. Three more seconds. Bingo. Excellent. Wow, okay. All right, all right. All right, let's see who's leading. On fire is on fire. Okay. Response planning and analysis assessment is under what domain? Excellent. All right, cool. Wow, sunshine has taken over. Woo, boy, what's going on? Okay. Which of this is the concept of roadmap? Choose best answer. Excellent. Let's go. Woohoo! All right, let's see who's leading now. Team Fire! Very close one though. Okay, let's see next one. Sunshine is really a weakness that can be exploited is what? A weakness that can be exploited is what? Let's go. Excellent. All right, fire is back on fire. All right, let's go to the next one. The possibility of something bad happening is what? Voodoo, vulnerability, threat, risk. Five more seconds to go. All right, excellent. Final one. Let's see fire if it's still on fire. Oh, fire is really close though. Team Sunshine is really closing up, and Team Ocean, this is any man's race now, the final one. All right, the final one, an entry or actor that may exploit a vulnerability. An entry or actor that may exploit a vulnerability. 5 more seconds. This is crazy. Oh man. 1 more second. Oh, close one. All right, let's see who the winner is. Drum roll. Grrr. Emotion third. No way. Amazing. You guys won, Team Sunshine. All right, you guys are amazing. That was a close shave there. Amazing. Oh, shoot. That's great. Okay, Sunshine. Good job, guys. Awesome, awesome, ladies. That's great. Awesome job. Okay, that's amazing. All right, all right, all right. You guys are killing it. That is awesome. Okay, that was really well done, guys, ladies. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me share the podium thing for you guys to see them. Sunshine, you guys are well, you've earned the bragging right, so we ain't gonna be mad at you guys. Oh man, that was good. That was good stuff. Okay, cool, cool. Okay, the final thing we're gonna do before we call it a day. Thank you all for hanging out. This will be for 10 minutes and I'll be out of here, okay? The 10 minutes is just anybody can grab this leadership side of it. And I'm gonna send the NIST framework to you guys. Just tackle the detect and just I wanted to just create that community effort where we just talk about it, look at one, and listen, everybody's a leader, so don't wait for anyone to take initiative. Just lead it when when you're there. Anyone can share their screen, talk about it, give it a score. If we can do 2 or 3, that would be great, just to give that experience. That's the goal for me, really. And I think we should be good. So I'm going to create a group real quick. Let me create a break room. Well, let's see how many of us, so we can do like 8 break room real quick. Make it quick, straight to the point, nothing fancy or sleep, and have fun, guys. See you guys in the next 10 minutes, just 10 minutes. Then I'll share the information on Thank you, everybody. Welcome back. We try to keep to time, so I know it's weekend, so you guys can go chill, enjoy yourself, family time, and everything. Let's give everybody else a second, and we kick off and we wrap it up. Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I know it's weekend. You all have to take care of family and business. Now, let me tell you, full disclosure, it's not a fair process, right? It's not fair because I was jumping into everybody's group to kind of, in reality, yes, you're right. Nobody's going to tell you to do an assessment in one day, right? Like we are doing because it's a workshop. The idea is to give you the tool, the concept. Some questions people asked was, in real life, would you be um, asking for evidence and challenging things? Yes, 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 yes. You must do that, actually. It's part of the process. You have to ask for evidences. You have to be sure. Anything you're not sure, follow up on them. I overheard some people talk about third-party risk. Very true. Spot on, guys. Some of you have experienced there too. Excellent job. That is true. In reality, third party is a different monster. It's part of our program. We'll be teaching later down the road. And it's a process on its own, right? So it's not as simple as, a vendor says, yes, yes, master, we're doing something. That is true. But we're going to ask also, do you have a process in place to oversee your third party? Do you do risk assessment for them? You're going to ask all of those questions, okay? And it's just amazing, really. So shout out to all of you, all you guys, amazing crowd. Tomorrow, same time, we're going to be meeting 2 to 5 Central Time. Invite other people to be part of this whole process. At the minimum, let people have information, know the things that are out there today that they can take advantage of. It's very important, I think, at the end of the day. Our community needs people to be knowledgeable, and this is just a very fantastic way to spread knowledge, to let people, I know it's weekend, but people can also enjoy some good information and knowledge, learn as much as they can on the weekend also, which is great. Some people pinged me one-on-one and said the registration for the class, yes, the main program will kick off next week, 28th through February. Let me send the link. Okay, yes. Um, so the link is there for people that want to. Some of you have registered already. Thank you. Register for the program. It's going to be the same similar style. The main program is. I think I just forwarded it to you guys. You will see it online. You know what? Let me show you guys real quick. Just for a lot of you have been buzzing me on that already. But let me just quickly share my screen for 1 second, and you'll see what that is all about. And we'll wrap up for today. But it's easy to, it's just a standard site. There's nothing, not a big deal there. So when you guys go to Academy of Skillweed, this is the first one here. And that is kicking off next week. Some of you have asked me the question, the payment is $750. For those that want to pay twice or 3 times, there's an additional cost for that. You can always select the option here for you all too. So that is there. I've sent the link. I will probably send that to the WhatsApp group so that you would have that information, so that we have a few people asking the same question. Let me send that to you guys. Just go ahead and feel free to register. Tomorrow is going to be the final for today's session. Please be part of it. Tomorrow, let me tell you what you guys will see finally, what we'll do together. This is great because at the end of the day, we want to make sure we can present to this lady, Zainab, Fatou. Let me show you guys we're going to work on this tomorrow, all of us together. So you guys will work together first to identify your top areas of risk as a group tomorrow. Of course, we'll do some quiz, brain tussle tomorrow. Whatever we've thought today, go through it. I'm going to make you do all the quiz tomorrow again to refresh your brain, and enjoy the rest of the weekend, everybody. Thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow. God bless. Bye.